Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing the monthly closeout for April and let's get into it. Um, let's see. We are overspent in groceries, which has become the norm here. But anyways, we are overspent by $403.54. And I'm going to cover that with this saving sweet money. So we're just going to move $403.54 to groceries. What just happened? Okay. And then I know I've mentioned it before, but I have step accounts for my kids. It's basically like a debit card that you can control through an app and you can put money on. And so I sent my daughter up at college $20 so that she could go out to, or actually not go out, but DoorDash in food with her friends for a movie night. I don't typically do that. She usually has her own spending money for that. But we happened to be on the phone talking, and she had mentioned she overspent at Walmart, and so she was just going to eat a macaroni and cheese cup while the others got their DoorDash. And that was all fine and good. And then when we got off the phone, maybe about an hour later or so, we impromptu decided that the rest of us were all going to go to Chili's for dinner. And I kind of felt bad thinking about my daughter there eating her mac and cheese cup while her friends were door dashing food in and we were going out. So I sent her money just as a little, care package kind of thing onto her step card. And so that was just $20. And then let's see, we were overspent in our tithe by $10. That was because I gave an additional Easter gift, which ended up making us go negative, which is fine. I don't care about that. And then we were overspent in my husband's car repairs category. Let's see. He had to get bushings and something else. I don't even know. But it was only $10.20 over. So we're going to cover that. And then office supplies, we were over by $73.15. And that is because we had to pay for our annual renewal of YNAB, which is this software that I'm using for budgeting. And I just put it into office supplies. Should it have its own category? Probably, but I just look at it as part of, I don't know, running the house, and I put it under office supplies. So we do have to cover the negative balance of $73.15 for that. And then for birthdays, friends, and family category, we were overspent by $15. And I believe this is because I sent my nephew a fundraiser, $50 for his baseball fundraiser. So we're just going to cover the $15. And I do put it under birthdays, friends, and family just because we don't have any other like fundraiser category. It's just I kind of use this for giving as well. Should I? I probably should. I don't know. Is that tax deductible? It might be. I have no idea. I deal with that at the end of the year. I go through and like do searches uh, and see. But anyways, the next thing that we were over with is we purchased Frontline tick medication for our dogs, and that put us over by $3.97. So we are just going to cover that. And then the final thing we were over on is medications and prescriptions. And let's see, we bought Claritin. That's what it says. We might have got, that's expensive for Claritin. We probably got other things. Oh, antibiotic ointment and I think peroxide, because one of my kids had a cut that we needed to tend to. So yeah, we ended up being over by $37.92 for that. So we're just going to cover that. Okay, so all of our overspending for the month of April is done, and that leaves us with $765.37 that we could put towards savings, and that is what I'll use in the upcoming Friday savings challenges to put towards our goals. So if we move on to our spending report, okay, it says that we spent $20,741.27 for the month of April. That's not entirely accurate because $15,000 of that was the investment that we made into our Roth IRA. So we technically, whoops, there goes my dogs. Give them a minute to finish. Anyway, they obviously we invested it, we didn't really spend it. So if you take that out, we spent $5,741.27 total for the month. So let's, oh, here we go, category groups. So obviously this big blue here is the $15,000 that we put into our Roth IRA. So that's technically not spent. For monthly fixed expenses, it says we spent $3,059.74. So of that, $2,614.74 was our mortgage. $280 went to our gas and electric. $223.84 went to our dental insurance. $200.01 went to my husband's life insurance policy, and $137 went to cell phones, and $111.89 went to water, and $100.56 went to internet. And this says $98.36 went to my life insurance, which is not correct, and I will probably have to correct that. That amount is double. So sometimes, depending on the month, the charge hits earlier, and usually I catch it and I will like just change the date in the software, and when I do that, like it will go back down. So for example, it probably hit on April 30th for the month of May, and that's why it's showing as double. But normally that is like, I believe, $49.18. So I will correct that, and that will go back down because, like I said, that probably has May's amount in there as well. And for Easy Pass, we had a replenishment amount go out of $45. And all of that totaled $3,059.74 in monthly fixed expenses. If we come back here and we look at weekly expenses, so for weekly expenses, we spent $1,858.90. Let's see. So the breakdown for that is groceries. Groceries are killing me, guys. They really are killing me. I know they're killing everybody, but yeah, so we spent $1,393.54 in groceries. That's insane. That's just insane. I I got no words, but anyway, moving on. I'm just thankful that we can do it, but I mean, it's just crazy. So, for my husband's gas, we spent $187.49. For my gas, we spent $140.03. For my daughter Megan's college expenses, we spent $116.20, and that was on her graduation, some things for her graduation. I'm not 100% sure exactly what. I know we had to buy her cap and gown, her stole, cords, things like that. It's just all the things she's basically going to wear on graduation. Yeah, that's what that is. And then the $20 that we send my daughter. And I just want to add, I know this says that it's weekly expenses, but these are grouped by account, like the actual bank accounts in our bank. And so this just happens to be where these came out of. So that's why they are under weekly expenses. In addition, my in-laws own a farm, and my husband always goes and pays the taxes. My in-laws give us the money, but like he actually goes to the town hall for them and pays it, and the whole nine. So, anyway, somehow we end up with paying $1.64, which I don't care about, but yeah. And I don't know why it shows even weekly expenses here, because it's zero, but yeah. So altogether, that was $1,858.90 that was spent in weekly expenses for the month of April. And if we go to sinking funds, we spent $822.63 out of sinking funds, and the breakdown for that was $118.13 from office supplies, and that was actually the YNAB subscription for this budgeting software that I use. Tithe was $100. Clothes was $95.81. Easter for like their stuff for my kids, their basket or whatever, it came to $80. Car repairs for my car was $79.07. I'm just curious. I had a headlight out. I think this is headlight and wiper blades. So, yeah, I believe that's what it is. I have 3 wiper blades, guys. My husband's like, your car takes 3 different wiper blades. Apparently, the front 2 wiper blades are different sizes, and then I have a rear one. I'm like, it's a bougie car, I guess. No, it's not really a bougie car. I drive a Chevy Traverse, so not a bougie car, but 3 wiper blades, 3 different kinds, just to replace the wiper blades. And so for doctor's copays, we had $75 in doctor's copays this month. Motorcycle insurance was $75 that we had to pay, and HeartGuard for our dogs was $60.71. Medications and prescriptions, $58.92. Restaurant and entertainment, $53.56. Birthdays, friends, and family was $50. Car repairs for my husband's car, $44.20. Frontline for the dogs was $38.97. Dog food was $27.08. House maintenance, $23.83. We had to buy a part for our washing machine. Our washing machine goes through pumps like crazy, but they're only $23.83. And my husband at this point is a master at changing them because I think we've gone through about 5, 6 of them. But anyways, we had to spend $22.31 for my son's lacrosse. That was new cleats. We got such a deal, you guys, on cleats. So we go in and I'm like, great, we have to buy cleats. I feel like we just bought cleats, but his feet keep growing. And he finds these cleats and they're on sale for $109. And I'm like, but they're all around that because he's in men's sizes and it's just what it is. So we go up to the register and they ring in for $11. $11. He also got tape for his stick, so that's why it came to $22.31. But $11. It was a 90% discount. We were like, my husband and I look at each other and we're just like, yes, this is a deal. We were so excited. You ever have that happen where you go to the register and it's like ridiculously lower than you thought it was gonna be? That was one of those times. So we were super happy. We were feeling good for the whole rest of the day. Anyway, my husband's personal expenses, he spent $12.48. That was our Hulu and Paramount streaming services. So the deal is he pays for that. He is so where he works, a lot of times the condo owners will ask him to do stuff inside their units, which he's not responsible for. So he usually does it, and he does it without any intention of getting any money in return. It's just my husband, and a lot of the condo owners, it's a 55 and over community, so a lot of them are in their late 70s and 80s. So, and of course they always like give him money whenever he does something inside their units. You know, it's like that old people mentality, I guess, which is fine. So the deal with the streaming is he pays for it, and the day that he can't afford to pay for it because he has no, little extra side hustle money, it goes away. And that's kind of how we do it. So, but anyway, school supplies, we spent $7.56 on index cards, you guys. So, of course, naturally, my daughter waited to the last possible minute and needed index cards. And she told us right before she was leaving to go to the Youth Police Academy. She had Youth Police Academy from like 7 to 9 at night. And then she's like, yeah, and when you pick me up, we got to go find index cards. So my husband drove around looking for index cards. The only ones he could find were in CVS, and they were big ones. They weren't even the size she wanted. 50 index cards for $8. I was like, oh my goodness. And that wasn't even enough. She really needed more than that because just this class that she's taking, she just burns through index cards. So then he came home and proceeded to order from Amazon more index cards. So you'll probably see that in May's budget. But anyway, this is what happens when you wait till last minute. But yeah, $7.56 for 50 index cards. Oh, like, oh boy. But anyways, that was the spending breakdown for our sinking funds. So altogether, though, it was $5,741.27 in spending for the month of April. If you don't count the $15,000 that was actually not really spent but put into our retirement account. So, yeah, that actually is a lower month, I think, on the lower end, because usually I feel like we're around 7. But I'm happy with that, and I'm happy with the fact that we got our Roth IRA fully funded because that's really cool. But anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share my channel with others, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!